live for like a couple of days now, but for some reason, it has not been working here. I'm located right now in the Dominican Republic. Um, Let me see. Hold on, guys. All right, guys. So here I am right now. I believe, listen, whether you are a supporter of Diddy or not, you would have to agree that you would have to agree that these charges really seem funky. Like, they really don't make sense to me at all. And the reason why, gracias, amor, gracias. And the reason why they don't make sense to me at all is because what is he being charged with exactly? You know, what is he being charged with, guys? When you think about it, he's being charged with the Mann Act, but he wasn't living off the avails for prostitution. He wasn't putting those girls on the stroll. He also wasn't like making any money off of them. He literally was doing quite the opposite. These girls, hold on. Let me see. Sing a song. Oh, hey, guys. So, trying to get this. He wasn't pimping out any girls. You know, where I come from, downtown Toronto, Canada, right? When you are being charged with any type of prostitution or anything, that means you had a woman on the stroll. That means that you were on the stroll. Or maybe a high class hoe, right? Maybe a high class working woman. And you were had those girls out. You were running some type of a brothel or running some type of a, sex ring, an intimacy ring. And you had a whole bunch of women. Let's look at it, because Diddy could have been running one of those if he wanted to. He could have been putting so many girls on the stroll and would have been like, oh, Diddy, you're picking me to do that? Great. And they would be running miles to get to his star home or wherever it is in Miami. And they would be so happy to be one of his girls, but he wasn't doing that. He had two women that he was dating, okay, or intimately involved with. And they were choosing to have these guys, especially Cassie. Cassie was getting with Howard Clayton, or Clayton Howard. He has two first names. He was with Clayton Howard. Like, no, he has two last names for his first and last name. But she was getting with Clayton Howard, like outside of Diddy. So she was enjoying herself and she was paying him. So he was the working guy. Here in the Dominican Republic, we call them working girls, or, on the stroll type of thing. But Howard was getting paid. Clayton Howard was getting paid. He wasn't paying Diddy. And this is where I get confused, because Diddy was not getting paid for anything that these girls were doing in the bedroom. Why is it called prostitution? It just seems like Diddy needs to appeal this. It seems like everything needs to come right back around again. He already got off the RICO charges. Go ahead and appeal the prostitution charges. He was not necessarily, I know, he brought over people over state lines, right? Or he was complacent, I mean, not complacent, complicit in it. But those girls brought that dude over on their own. You know, Cassie brought that guy over on her own. Cassie really liked Clayton Howard's intimacy. And she was like, I like him. Apparently, he had that big apparatus. And that's what she was into. Get a little high, drink a little bit, enjoy your life, call a dude over, and behind Diddy's back. So I'm looking at it like, what was Diddy really benefiting here? He wasn't sleeping with the guy. He this was a real lifestyle of a bedroom, private bedroom activity. And whether you like Diddy or not, the more you look at these charges, you gotta admit that, yeah, they were bringing a guy over who was taking money to participate with them, but they weren't doing like what Eddie Murphy used to do and drive down on the main street and pick up girls, just any old girl for the night. What Eddie Murphy allegedly did, right? They weren't just going and picking up any girls. They had their favorite dude that they would call over. Diddy would pay for it. You know, he said, okay, you pick the guy that you want to bring into the bedroom. He wasn't forcing these girls to sleep with a guy that only he wanted there. He wasn't forcing these girls to do anything against their will. One time when it came to Jane Doe, he's like, girl, do your job. The reason why he said that was because she promised him an all-star freak. She promised him that. She's like, I'm going to have an all-star. We're going to get together and we're going to have a good time. And he was like, what? That's great. He was like, I'm down with that one. That one sounds amazing. Why didn't I come up with that idea myself? You know? And I'm surprised to, hold on, let me fix my camera a little bit. Let me see who's on here. Hey, how you doing there, Iman? And we also have nice talking to you. I agree with you, Dr. Nazir. Thank you. I don't have my glasses on, guys. I am from Canada, asked Dr. Nazir. Okay, so I'm just going to get back into what I was saying. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for tuning in, guys. But I do want to say, you know, Cassie was doing her own thing with this guy. And this guy went all over the circuit. He made his rounds when it came to being with all the other vloggers and bringing the information out and telling us exactly what was happening in the bedroom. These are very important points. And I believe that Diddy's charges need to be appealed. Whether you agree with Diddy's lifestyle or not, you really have to focus on the law. He got off the RICO charges because it wasn't RICO at all. That wasn't RICO. I know a few people who don't like Diddy, and you know, they private messaged me and they're like, you know what? Looking at everything now in hindsight, I can see that really wasn't RICO charges. So it's nice to see that the criminal justice system of the United States of America worked very well, and it worked in his favor and by right. And a lot of people, they still don't like Diddy, right? But at the same time, they do appreciate the justice system. I didn't like Diddy before all of this. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even like Diddy. I appreciated some of his songs, some of his music, but I thought he was too cocky. I thought he was just a little too on himself, I'm this and I'm that, and I get what I want. And I was just like, whatever, brother, whatever. But now, since he's been in court, since he has been, a lot of his text messages have come out, and the truth was revealed in court. His text messages came out, and I was able to, and you were able to, if you really watch the whole entire court system, the trial, you were also able to see that a lot of his text messages were revealed, and they weren't so bad. He wasn't a monster at all. He actually even asked Jane Doe at one point, please just be my friend right now. I really need a friend right now. He didn't have anybody. And here she is singing songs flat in his ear, singing songs off key in his ear, not great. And he was like, can't you just be my friend right now? And he was paying $10,000 a month for her rent. I couldn't even imagine being in a relationship with someone, paying all that money out to them, and they're still complaining, still fighting, still arguing, and behaving in a jealous manner. And this was the Jane Doe. She will never be able to live that down, because even the people that don't like Diddy, they still are hating on her. They're like, this girl was a waste of time, especially the ones that can't stand Diddy, especially the ones that are like, oh my gosh, why did they have her go? You know, why did they have her go to court? There were so many other people that were better witnesses, but they wanted her to go to court and say what she did, just in case he didn't get charged on the RICO. He would get charged on bringing people over state lines, but bringing prostitutes over state lines. But really, were they really like, like, well, yeah, they were prostitutes because they were getting paid for their intimacy, but, and they worked for, like certain companies, but not everyone did they bring over state lines was actually working for a company. Some of them were just on Instagram, and they were like, hey, we like your look. You want to come into the bedroom? You'll get paid for it. And that was somebody who was like, okay, sure, I'm going to get paid just for, having intimacy with a beautiful woman. Absolutely. And this is really what happened. You see, Diddy was not making money off these ladies. And those charges, in my opinion, that's what those charges are out for. When you are making money from someone else, like living off the avails, they used to call it back in the day. And yeah, I don't have any papers with me right now. If you guys want the lowdown on papers, you have to go look at that YouTube channel, Podcast with Soul, and other channels that are printing up court documents to back up their argument. But right now, this is just my opinion. And what I'm saying to you, in my opinion, is something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't taste right. Something doesn't smell right. Something doesn't feel right at all. And whether you're a supporter or not, you have to be a supporter of the justice system. And when someone is being charged with a certain charge that doesn't make sense, doesn't that mean that they should appeal it? Doesn't that mean that they should put themselves into a position of, let me see. Just looking at some of these comments, guys. Oh my gosh. My gosh. I think you guys are silly. Thank you in a kind of backwards way for the comments. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. But I will say this. In my honest opinion, I just feel like Diddy needs to appeal this situation, because when everything comes down, why is he in jail right now? And not only that, he's being hurt. I did a video on him. You guys go check it out. It's the one before this one. And he's trying his hardest to be in jail, as an inmate, going to school. He's going through rehabilitation. He's learning how not to be angry. But the recent news out about him is that he wants to get out, an emergency bail hearing, and just get out. And I believe that he's being set up. I believe that because he's such a role model, prisoner, inmate, role model inmate, I guess, they're going to set him up more and more. They're going to put people in his cell with him, quite possibly, to get him going crazy, to get him going off. And they do those little things, okay? And who does it? The people that wanted to see him go down. And the reason why? They want him to get more time in jail. They want him to do something to protect himself. And it's his word against the other person. And what? They give him more time in jail because he won't get parole or probation, whatever, due to good behavior. Because as it stands right now, it's quite possible that Diddy could get out by Christmas. Because he may get, like, let's say he gets 2.5 years, right? He's already did in September 10 months. That means that by December, it'll be 15 months. He can get out on good behavior and just be on parole for all of those months. People get out on good behavior, on parole, and they're on parole for like 2 years. But what they're trying to do, I believe, and when I say they, I mean the enemy of him, it could be people that have him set up, the state, they lost, the feds, they lost. And this is just my opinion. This is all what I'm alleging, okay? Someone is setting him up. They're trying to bother his mind. They're trying to disturb his peace. He's on a roll right now. He is in a place right now where I don't even think he should be, right? But he's making the best of it. He's going to rehabilitation. He's also going to anger management courses. There's a lot that he's doing right now, and he's trying to behave himself. The video that I did before this one was about him being in the system. Diddy's not getting any special favors at all. If so, he would be signed out already. I do believe that there was probably a fight that happened, something where he felt like his life was in danger, somewhere where he's like, yo, this should not be going on. So he has to line up with all the other prisoners during roll call. He doesn't get to lay in his bed. In the morning, he has to make sure his bed is made, his bunk is clean, his area is immaculate. It's just like being in the military when you're in prison. You're not just allowed to lay around and do whatever you want. There is roll call. You got to be up in the morning at a certain time. You got to eat the same food unless you get something from the commissary. The commissary is what we call in Toronto the canteen. You're allowed to buy little snacks from the government. The commissary is where you can buy a certain amount. You have a certain amount of money. You can't buy thousands of dollars worth of stuff, but you get to buy a certain amount of money for little treats, little snacks, little like chocolate bars, chips, ramen noodles, rice. One thing about the American federal system, prison system, they are trading things. When I say they, the inmates are trading things called Macs. That is mackerel, cans of fish. And Diddy is reported to be doing the same thing. Now, allegedly, He's also getting things from the commissary. Now, what you do with these macs is it is the economical system of the inmates. And what they do is they trade goods between each other with these cans of mackerel. The cans of mackerel are approximately $1 to buy from the commissary, from the government, and you get them. Now you can trade between each other. One Mac might mean, a pack of 3 packs of ramen noodles, right? You might want to give a Mac to be able to get a greeting card. If an artist is in a couple of cells down from you, he's a really good artist. He makes greeting cards, and these greeting cards you can send out to your family from a real good artist. You might give them a couple of Macs. Here's a couple of Macs. Make a greeting card for someone close, and Diddy likes to give gifts to people. He's very kind that way. It could be that he wants a tattoo in prison. It could be that he wants something called a jailhouse spread. And the jailhouse spread is you can get a meal made for you, and it's not from the mess hall. Like, it's not a regular meal that you would get with the other meals. You can pay the cook to make you a jailhouse spread. Now, knowing Diddy, he's probably not going to go off the rails with these Macs. He probably will get a few for himself just in case he wants to trade with some of the other prisoners. Maybe there's something that maybe he wants to get his clothes cleaned. Maybe he wants to get, something else from someone else. You have to keep in mind as well, just because Diddy is Diddy, a lot of people are like, oh, he's getting special treatment in jail. No, he's not. No, he's not. There's a lot of people in prison that do not like Diddy. There's some people that don't even like rap music. There's some people that are rappers, and they're like, why is he so good? I'm a better rapper than him. There are some people who aren't even in the jail, and they are getting word to other people who are in jail with Diddy, and they're like, yo, get that mofo. Get that mofo. I don't like him from back in the day. He didn't take my mixtape. I went in the studio with him and he insulted me. Or I can remember when we were in high school together and that mofo did this and that. Like, there's so many people that they will look at this as a moment to get Diddy back. So maybe it's not even the feds trying to mess with Diddy right now. It could be other people trying to mess with Diddy. You really have to think hard about what is happening and these charges, how ridiculous they are. Diddy did not. Let me read some of these comments. Hi, Connie. Hi, Balian. Richard. Hi. Let me see. Sam, if Diddy comes home, he's going to get caught up. I don't know. Diddy's coming home next week? Who said that? Fabulous? Fabulous, do you know that for sure? I didn't hear that. And yeah, Cassie was she was the one that was out of control. Misbehaved, completely on substances. She was stealing from Diddy. She was being disrespectful to Diddy. I do believe that she was the one that was out of control, 100%. And, I do believe that this is a beautiful thing. If Diddy does get out, they may just say, look, since he's out, let him stay out, give him a sentence, let him out on good behavior. You know what I'm saying? I really do believe this. And oh yeah, Sam, if Diddy gets out, he'll get caught up. I don't think so. I don't think so, Sam. And this is the reason why I think Diddy will remain good when he gets out. Let's break it down. He used to be puffy. right? When he was a little boy. His mom named him Puffy because he was always puffing, puffing. He had a bad attitude. Then he became Diddy. Diddy is just pig Latin for daddy. You know, my parents used to speak pig Latin to me. You know, a lot of times, like for instance, what was his name? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You can deal with this or you can deal with that. Oh my gosh. Snoop. Snoop used to do a lot of pig Latin. During those days, Diddy changed his name from Daddy to Diddy because, again, Diddy is pig Latin for daddy. Now, he changed it to Diddy. Just before he got arrested, he started to call himself Brother Love. He also, in court, in trial, the word love, through all the text messages and through all the testimonies, the word love was mentioned over 800 times. He even named his daughter Love. He was going through a change in life. So he named himself Brother Love. That's one thing. He started to focus more on love. Stay in the light. Stay in the light. Focus on love. Another thing, and I think this is what really tells me that he was starting to change his life over. You know, when Rodney, the guy that is taking him to civil court, Rodney actually said that when they were working out, Diddy would watch TD Jakes and see how he was performing his sermons, and he would mimic them. That speaks volumes. TD Jakes is not a rapper. He is not even an actor. He is a guy who is a pastor, and he was giving sermons, and Diddy was mimicking him. I believe that him going over to Brother Love, mimicking those sermons, he was thinking about changing his life over to God. And God has a very interesting way of helping people do that. You start praying for change. I bet you Diddy, he wasn't wanting to do those intimacy parties. He was an addict. He was staying up all hours of the night, doing substances with women that he knew didn't even love him or care about him. Come on now. He was most likely praying to God on his knees, asking for change. And God said, "You want change, my boy? You want change, my son? I'm going to give you change. I'm going to pluck you up, pluck you, take you from what you are in right now, and I'm going to put you away. You're only going to go away for a while. I'm going to scare you. I'm going to shake you up, and I'm going to make you get down on your knees even more. You're going to clean yourself up." Because if Diddy put himself into a treatment center, he most likely would not have lasted. Like every other Hollywood person, not all of them, but many of them, they don't last. They put themselves in for a month, they're back out again. The substances come to them sometimes free. They drink, they smoke, they snort, they do everything. And what happens is they get caught up again. They know they need help. Many of those very famous people, they know they need help. And what do? They put themselves in a treatment center for a month. We all hear about it in the tabloids, online, and so just went to the treatment center. And some of them even let themselves out early. The reason why they want to get out of that Betty Ford, you remember the Betty Ford Center from back in the day? The reason why they take themselves out early out of these treatment centers is because it's not as upscale as their own home. They live in upscale homes. They love their homes. Sorry about the dog barking in the background. I'm at a restaurant right now in the Dominican Republic. Let me show you guys where I'm at. So, let me turn this camera around. So, a lot of those famous people, they get caught up and they're like, I'm not staying in this treatment center, this rehabilitation center. I don't have all the luxuries that I'm used to. And they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to. They're supposed to have the bare essentials. They're supposed to get to down to the core of who they are, their spirit. So they leave the treatment center, they go back home, they have themselves convinced that they can do it on their own because they have the 12 steps down, they feel strong, they get home. As soon as they get in, what do? They go to the bar inside of their home and they have one drink, convincing themselves that they're going to be all right. Then before they know it, they're having another drink, and then they're doing their substances. I believe God looked at Diddy and felt Diddy's heart, read the tablet of Diddy's heart, read the tablet and said, my boy, my son, my child, I believe that you want change. I believe that you are praying to me with all of your heart. Get ready for this roller coaster ride. And wow, he put Diddy on a roller coaster ride. And Diddy was so happy when those RICO charges didn't go down. First thing he did was get down on his hands and knees and thank God in the courtroom in front of everybody. He didn't even care who was around him. He was like, yo, God, thank you. He took that moment for God, not the cameras, not the people. Boom, right down. And even though there were no cameras allowed in the courtroom, there was still that artist that draws. He didn't stand up and put his arms out. Yeah, I'm a winner. I get what I want. Nothing. He was actually quite the opposite. He got down on the ground, humble as can be, like a baby in a fetal position, and thanked God. That speaks volumes to me. And I hope it speaks volumes to you guys as well. It says a lot to my heart. He prayed with his family. And I do believe that with this brother love, with all this love stuff, with all of this watching TD Jakes, and also all this praying, God took him out of his situation, put him in an intense treatment center, and said, here, you're not going to do any substances. You're going to get locked up and you are going to get yourself together because I need you, my son, to help everyone out there. He was in the middle of making a Christian album. You know that. And he was living both worlds. He was making a Christian album because God called on him to do that. But yet he's doing all these substances and intimacy parties with these girls that didn't even love him at all. They were, like Fabulous said, monsters. These were not girls that he could take home and feel like he would want his daughters to look at these girls and be like, yeah, these girls are a great representation of who I want my own daughters to be like. Not at all. Let me look at some of these comments. Joker. Mighty Midge. That's a very good question. Let me just look at a couple of these other. Hey, I don't have my Roni morning coffee. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on, guys. But this is a great question here. God is coming soon. Hello, God is coming soon. And Robert Wooten, hello. We got Joker. That is what someone should have told her. Told who? So let me see here. So yeah, I think Diddy definitely was on a good road and he needed that little bit of shakeup. And it could be right now that whatever he's experiencing now in jail, God is like, I'm bringing you home, son. I'm getting you out early, son. These things have to happen. Maybe he got a fat lip. Maybe he got beat up. Maybe he got beat down. Maybe something happened. But something has to really happen to shake things up for his life to be threatened. Because remember, he's Diddy. He's not getting any favors in jail. It's probably the exact opposite. They're probably like, who does he think he is? He didn't get those RICO charges. He's not going to be in jail like everyone else forever. We're going to leave our mark on him. You know, you never know. And this could be God saying, I need him out now. Just like Jonah and the whale in the Bible. Jonah had to get swallowed up, and he didn't really get swallowed up by a whale, and it is a myth, but it's figuratively speaking. And he got swallowed up by that whale, and he got taken where? To the land that he was supposed to be. I believe that this is a modern day Jonah and the whale with Diddy. So yeah, there was a question right there. What would I have done in my 20s? I'm 53 right now. I did everything. I mean, I have a beautiful life. I'm very happy with my life. I enjoy my every single waking moment. So I don't regret anything. But in my next life, I think I would like to be a doctor. I really love anatomy, but not the type of doctor that, just sits and talks to people and prescribes medicine. I would like to be a surgeon, a doctor that can go inside the body and, open something up and help someone heal. That's what I would like to be, because I'm a soul coach. And I speak to people every single day about their emotions, about their mindset, about, living a better life. And that for me is so rewarding. It's just so to uplift someone, to tell someone that, this too shall pass, and give them proof. And then they come back and they're like, yeah, oh my gosh, you're right. That just feels so good. I can't imagine how great it would feel to help someone's body heal and also help their mind. So in my next life, and I do believe in reincarnation, right? I do believe in reincarnation. I do believe that the soul continues to live. This is just the life that I have right now. And I'm sorry if you're Christian, and I'm sorry if you do disagree, but we're all entitled to our own beliefs. And I believe that I was here before. I do. But we're not allowed to remember those things. It's kept against us. We're not even allowed to remember before we came here. We're not allowed to remember where we came from, because this is a mission. We are on a mission, a human experience. You are living a human experience. I'm living a human experience right now. You don't know what your life was before you got here in this human experience, because it's being kept from you. But it's something very special, trust me. Because if you did know, you'd probably be like, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. I'm going back home. Just like those Hollywood famous people that go to the treatment center and they're like, I'm out of here after 30 days, after 10 days, because they're like, I don't need to be here. I have luxury where I just came from. Just like what I said about those Hollywood actors and singers and just Hollywood famous people. Okay. They go into the treatment centers and they get themselves back out because they're like, I'm checking out. I'm out of here. I believe that's what life is like. We are not allowed. This is like prison in some ways. We are not allowed to leave unless, of course, we, end everything on our own, which, is not a good thing. So if you're thinking about that and you're watching this, don't do it. You're not going to go to hell. You will go to God, and God will give you a talking to. And God would say, "Why did you take your life? Why? Look what was about to come, because the darkest hour is before dawn." And God would be like, "Look what was just about to come." And then you'll go, "Oh my gosh." And that's where hell is. The regret. Hell is the regret. And God will never ever put you down forever like that. We have a very beautiful, loving creator. And God would never say, "You killed yourself, you're going to hell forever." God's not so petty. God is forgiving. God is loving. God is amazing. So you have to remember, the only if you take your life, the regret is going to give you hell. Hell. That's what it is, the regret. Because God would say, "Why did you do that? The darkest hour. You were in the darkest hour. Dawn was about to come. The daylight was just about to be here. And you took your life. Why? Look what was about to come around the corner." And when you have God saying that to you, and you have God showing that to you, like, because God has the ability to show you that esoteric video, God will be like, "Look what I had planned for you. Look what I had planned for you." And you just ended it all because you were in a little bit of darkness. Remember, everything's going to pass. So if you're going through something right now and you feel like you can't take it right now, stop, breathe. Doesn't matter if you're on the street watching this video, if you are in a luxury home, if you are at the lowest that you have ever been financially and you don't know where your next dollar is coming from, or if you have made the most money you have ever made, but emotionally you are very sad. It doesn't matter where you are in life right now. Just know this too shall pass. It's not about money. It's about character. It's about strength, resilience. Stay strong. That's exactly what Diddy's doing right now, staying strong, even though those charges should not be on him right now. He needs to appeal those charges. Big time. He needs to get bail, and then his lawyers need to appeal those charges. He wasn't prostituting any women out. Yeah, he took someone over state lines, but he only paid for it or reimbursed them. He didn't like go online and bring over those guys and stuff like that. You guys watched the trial with me. We watched it together. We all got the same information. We watched the vloggers that were in the courtroom and in the overflow courtroom. We all got the same information, and we saw it together. And we recognized and realized that these charges need to be appealed. Period. Hold on, guys. So was this Jate? Jate? Is that what your name says? No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding at all. But I made this video because I needed to come at you guys to talk to you about what I believe right now. We're all entitled to our own opinion. So please make sure you guys put in the comments below, come at me. Come at me. I'm strong. I can handle it. Come at me. And, let's talk. I'm going to let you guys go. Hey, Robert, how are you? I'm not seeing a lot of these comments right now, guys. For some reason, I'm not seeing a lot of these comments. It could be my internet feed or whatever. I am right now in the Dominican Republic, and it is getting late right now. So I have to go. I'm on my way to karaoke. I'm going to a karaoke joint right now. At this moment right now, I'm just at a beautiful restaurant called Nene on Pedro Clasante in a little town called Sosua. And I invite you guys to come here. Can you hear the music? So I'm going to go to karaoke right now. I love you. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do believe that Diddy needs to appeal the charges. I don't believe that he was living off the avails. I don't believe that he was doing anything with these girls that they wouldn't have been doing themselves. Don't hate on me. Love me. um, okay, guys. Bye. Mwah. Take care of yourself. Please be good to yourself out there. Please be good to others. And remember, tomorrow is not promised to you. So make the best of today. You're amazing. And remember, God loves you just like you are the special seed that He created, planted, grew. That's who you are. And even if you don't believe in God, that's too that's okay. That's up to you. But believe in yourself at least. Bye, guys.